Welcome back to Pop Hollers.
Holla holla!
And today, in honor of the Royal Rumble, we are going to show off our WWE Pops.
But first, I feel like we definitely need to take this opportunity to show off a non-Funko Pop collectible. An amazing replica belt signed by 12-time champion. Hulkamania's getting wild, brother! I know you're wearing his shirt, but I'm wearing his gold. It's getting heavy.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go put this away. Now I feel naked.
Well, unfortunately, we don't have a Hulk Hogan pop to show off, but we do have a lot of really amazing, iconic WWE superstars in our collection. We figured we would start it off with The Rock and Stone Cold in the Raw Wrestling Ring, which was a Funko Fair 2021 release.
This was a great combo pack we got off of K-Dog and Fish. I think it was like $25 or $30 at the time. Super pumped about it because these are two of the most iconic characters in all of wrestling. I like that with the ring, it gives a little bit of a nicer display. We do have a lot of our wrestling pops that are not in box. So I think that we will eventually have some sort of setup here where we can fit a few more than just the two of these guys in the ring.
Set them up like a lumberjack match.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Just get them all around and ready to roll. But we figured for today, since it is the Royal Rumble this weekend, we might as well show our out-of-box pops, and then we can just throw them in the ring, and they can duke it out to see who has the right to fight for the belt. I feel like since we're talking about Stone Cold, I need to naturally segue to the match that made Stone Cold who Stone Cold is today, when he defeated Jake the Snake Roberts in the King of the Ring. Having the snake completely wrapped around him is a wonderful touch. It looks super creepy, and that is still, one of the most iconic matches to me. Jake was already beaten up, and Stone Cold just kind of came in, just wrecked him, and then released one of the greatest promos of all time. Austin 316 just whooped his ass. And then speaking of iconic, the next one that I will show, another great old school wrestler, Razor Ramon. And I love the little hair that he's got coming down the front of his face on this one. I would have loved to see that they put a toothpick in his mouth somehow, but I can't be picky because when you see his chest hair, the gold chains hanging around, they've got enough of the little details there that really make the Razor Ramon look pop, in pop form.
So we have looked at a few of these WWE icons who have since retired from wrestling. So we can look at some that we have who are maybe even fighting in the Royal Rumble this weekend. And one of my faves who's been around for a long time is Rey Mysterio. I love what they've done with this Funko Pop. Rey Mysterio is a luchador style wrestler. And they did a great job, not only on his costume, but even all the details on his tattoos are unbelievable.
Yeah, there's quite a few that they fit on there.
Even look at his back tattoo.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I love Rey Mysterio. He's one of those awesome guys. He's super tiny, but so agile. And I don't know exactly how old he is now, but he's been around for a long time.
And he's still legit. He is quick and strong and really keeping up with all the new young guys.
And now wrestling with his son? How cool is that for a career?
Yeah.
That's pretty great.
So speaking of pops that have amazing detail and also wrestlers who are kind of small, we're going to look at our only female wrestler in the collection, and that is Asuka. Asuka's detail is probably one of my most favorite of the WWE because she in real life basically is a cartoon character.
Yeah.
So making her into a pop really made sense. Her hair is amazing. The detail on her costume is awesome. And her face makeup, which she is really well known for, is perfect.
She kind of has that look where it almost looks like underwear over top of shorts, and they captured that there as well, which I think is super sweet. And then Stella will obviously be upset because, again, in true female pop form, she has a stand because her feet are so small. And now, I don't know, Royal Rumble, are you ready for Asuka?
I hope so, because she's been off. She's been nursing some injuries. So
I hope she returns this weekend.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they'll do that where there's a character that's been away for a long period of time. Mm-hmm. You almost forget about them, and then that music hits. Everybody loses their minds.
Yeah.
So I think this could potentially be the return of Asuka at the Rumble.
Fingers crossed, because I'm ready for Asuka.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Speaking of great returns at the Royal Rumble, the volume that crowd got to when Edge's music hit was electric. And then I feel so bad because it was such an awesome return. And then it was shortly after that the pandemic started. And Edge was back, but he didn't even have fans to perform in front of when he had waited so long. He had fought back so hard from his neck surgery. Edge is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. He's Canadian. He's just a gorgeous specimen, an incredible athlete. That's another great pop to kind of add to the collection.
So another wrestler who really had unfortunate timing with his storyline in the WWE, and unfortunately the pandemic left him holding a belt but in front of absolutely no fans, is one of my favorites, Drew McIntyre. They got his hair perfect. Only thing, no sword. The sword would be amazing, but I understand the limitations with Funko, and you still can tell it looks exactly like him.
And this pop came out before he started bringing the sword in for his character.
Yeah, right? He does have fantastic abs.
And it almost looks like he's got a little bit of a smirk that they captured with the shape of his beard.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool because he is a very funny guy too.
Yeah, and the only thing that would make him more realistic is if he was like 3 or 4 inches taller than everybody else, because he is a tall man.
They should have put him in 6-inch pop form.
Exactly.
And then the last out-of-box pop we have will want to be front and center.
Absolutely.
And I think he can be front and center of any match, of any pay-per-view, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time.
And arguably best hair.
I disagree. We have the phenomenal AJ Styles. Now, even in this pop form, I would argue he does not have some of the best hair. This haircut is where he was sort of in between that mom haircut look. I know he was getting kind of a lot of backlash from WWE fans because he was starting to grow it out. And he was saying that he just did not want the wet hair look. So he has the kind of longish hair, but it looks very strange because he's basically the only wrestler doing that, and it's not wet. So I don't think it looks good. But again, if I could wrestle the way AJ Styles wrestles, I could have a pig on top of my head and no one would be able to make fun of me.
Well, I think it looks great. And I also think the gloves on this Funko Pop look fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Totally. Okay, so these are our out-of-box wrestling pops. I think what we'll do is shift this ring aside so that we can just show the last few that we have that are in-box.
Yeah.
Okay, so with our in-box pops, the first one we're going to start with is the most recent that we have added to the collection. And this is the Stone Cold Steve Austin 7-Eleven exclusive. He's got the 2 belts, one in each arm. He's got the knee braces on him. This is kind of the tail end of Stone Cold's career. And then you can just see he's part of this wave where just the regular pop that came out with him, he's just got the 1 belt. I love all things Stone Cold. I really can't. You can't go wrong with Stone Cold.
Yeah. So another special edition from this same WWE wave that we got is Xavier Woods. Now, Xavier Woods is from The New Day, and this edition of the pop is called the Xavier Woods Up, Up, Down, Down, because it is in reference to his YouTube show, which is all about video games. So I think he was probably pumped to become a Funko Pop.
Yeah.
Because he and the rest of the New Day seem like the kind of guys who would be really into Funko Pops and collecting and, again, video games. Probably much like us. I think we could be friends.
Yeah, they're just they have way more money and they're much more athletic than we are.
Absolutely. But this pop is really cute. It looks like it is almost metallic. The sort of pixelated unicorns. They've got what looks like remote control buttons on the vest, and just really nice nods to not only his WWE character, but his actual personality.
Yeah, and he's got the elf shoes on that he did wrestle in quite a few times. Like he was legit wearing those for matches. All right, and then the next one I will show is also kind of a recent addition. You may remember this if you watched our video from the Toys R Us Pop for Profit Challenge. This is one I walked away with that was not part of the challenge, but I could not leave it in store. We've got the Rock and Sock Connection. This was one of the most kind of hilarious and awesome tag teams. I thought they worked really well together because The Rock was iconic, but he's also very playful. And they were just trying to find a new way to kind of get Mankind involved without necessarily having to do so many hardcore matches because his body was completely broken. And I love this combo, so I was super pumped to add this tag team to our collection.
My last two pops to show are also a tag team, and that is Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. And they are the WWE Street Profits. These are great. I love the red Solo Cup that you see with Montez Ford. It's just one of their fun things that they do when they come out. They either have the cups raining from the sky or they bring them out. Always gets the crowd going too. They are just a great tag team to watch. They are so athletic and...
Oh, like the height Montez Ford gets when he does his frog splash, I do not know how it's physically possible.
Yeah.
It seems to defy gravity. Like, he is so high up. It's awesome.
Yeah. So we hope that you enjoyed checking out our WWE collection.
And actually, looking at all of these now, it's getting me more excited for the Royal Rumble. Do you have a prediction of who you think will win the men's and the women's?
I do. Men's, I always want Randy Orton to win, but I don't think that's where it's going this year. I'm going to go with somebody who is newer to the WWE roster, and I am going to go with Austin Theory.
Oh, well, yeah, you're playing that. He's getting the Vince McMahon push these last few months. I'm going to go with somebody that has been around for a while and I think is ready to get back into the title consideration again. He is one of our pops, and I think it's going to be a phenomenal win at the Royal Rumble for AJ Styles.
I would like to see that.
Now that they have separated him from Omos, I think it's time to start to get him back into a title picture.
Yeah.
So that's who I'm going to predict for the Royal Rumble this year for the men. For the women, I think I'm going to go off of a similar vein of what they did last year with Bianca Belair and a relative newcomer. I'm going to predict that Rhea Ripley wins the Women's Royal Rumble this year.
Oh, I would love to see that happen. But my choice is, again, similar to Austin Theory. Not somebody that I like, but somebody who I think that they want to win. And I'm going to say Liv Morgan.
So if you have a prediction of who you think is going to win the Royal Rumble, we would love to hear it and drop it in the comments. So thank you so much for joining. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And until next time,
Happy hauling! Rumble, rumble!